Good morning and you are welcome to Enapa TV. My name is Gabriel Teko Mensah, and today we have a very prominent person in our midst, and he's part of the TEIN communications team, that is the NDC Youth Wing on the University of Ghana campus, and he's the person of Joseph Baleto. Joseph, good morning and you're welcome to Enapa TV.
Good morning very much, and good morning to our viewers too.
Yeah, trust you, everything is fine.
Yeah, everything is fine by grace.
All right, so let's zoom right to the discussions. And NDC, you won all 56 polling stations on campus. So how did you do that?
Thank you very much for the opportunity to express our, let's say, plans that or our strategies is to win on campus. It was something that wasn't achieved like just in a day, or wasn't something that was just planned in a day. It was a long-term something, because we realized that we were rather facing a candidate who, I won't say was strong, but she thought she could use resources and then money to intimidate us, but we never gave in to that, because we knew that we were fighting for the people, and at all costs, no matter what, we need to stand in for the people. And so we didn't go out there to share rice and oil to the people. We didn't go and share Givo Gary to the people. The simple thing we did is just the message, communication, that's all. We just made the people understand that all this money they are sharing to them, the incentives they are bringing to them, is their own money they've gathered, they looted over the years. Instead of doing developmental projects for the constituency and for the students, most especially, they never do anything. They only gather the money thinking that on the D-Day they will share this money to them for them to go and vote for them. And we destroyed our plan. We didn't make that succeed, because that's very wrong. You are supposed to take into consideration the interest of the people in your constituency, and also the people like on campus, people who come from far and near to stay or to reside in the constituency that are supposed to that decided to exercise their franchise. You have to also provide their needs for them. But these people don't do that. They think Ghanaians remains the way, but no, Ghanaians continues to learn. Everything that happens, they take experience from it and they learn. And so it was simple. We just made them understand that all the money that is coming back to you, all the incentives, all the gifts, just take it and squander it. But exercise your franchise based on a candidate that will stand for interest, a candidate that will execute policies that will benefit you in the long term. We are facing a lot of challenges in the constituency: sanitation problems, accommodation issues, security threats, and all that. What is she doing to help us? I'm talking about the MPP parliamentary candidate. What was she doing? She was an MP for so many years, and she has never done anything. All right,
and so not to cut you short, speaking of the parliamentary candidate for the Ayawaso West Wuogon, particularly for your candidate, that is John Setor Dumelo, and on the election day, we believe, or reports were circulating, that he was on campus, doing some groundwork, as he usually call it. Could you take it as one of, the thing you guys did which helped you to make that history by accumulating all votes from the 66 polling centers on campus? And in the first place, was that news true?
The news wasn't wholly true, because, politicians, you are never free from propaganda, people formulating bad or negative news about you. It will happen always. You understand? The fact that the parliamentary candidates came on campus or came to the polling station doesn't mean that he came to campaign or came to pull people, see people to go and vote for him. It doesn't happen that way. We all know that the day before elections, campaign season,
yeah.
No one is supposed to involve or partake in any form of campaign.
Absolutely.
And NDC, if you testify to it, you are one of the peaceful political party on the continent, you understand? Then people know about it. We don't contradict or we don't violate rules that are supposed to guide certain big.
So if I understand what you're saying, he was not on campus because of campaigning.
No, not at all.
What was he actually doing?
Every parliamentary candidate has the right to observe the electoral processes during the election day. and that was what he was doing.
Okay, thank you very much for that particular clarification. But still on the parliamentary candidate for the Ayawaso West Wuogon, MPP has dominated this particular terrain. Speaking from 2004 to 2008, we had Akosia Fremont Oseopare of the MPP reigning, and she was followed by Emmanuel Chemantin Ejakong, and he ruled from 2012 to 2016, and now Lydia Serma Lassan, she also ruled from 2017 down to 2024. So, when you check back to, or you date back to history, the MPP has really dominated the Ayawaso West Wuogon constituency. And this time, the NDC candidate is coming around. What different thing should we look out for?
Nothing has ever happened to this constituency during all these whole years of the MPP dominating the constituency in terms of the parliamentary seat. They've been on a seat without doing anything, let me say, anything so much to improve or to develop the constituency. All they do is, the trend has always been the same. So this is not the first time we are experiencing this. They wait till the election year or even a month to the election, then they start sharing politics, they start sharing money, start sharing food to the people to vote for them. And they've succeeded on that for some time, but now the electorate are telling them that, okay, we've learned so much, you can't always deceive us with your incentives. After we vote for you, you disappear, we never see you, you don't even come and look around to see what's wrong with us, what's wrong with the constituencies, what you are lacking and all that. And so this time around, I think the information we passed down to the people, they understood it because of the current condition they were in. You understand? Everyone is feeling the heat. So if I come to you and I tell you that someone wants to fight for interest, someone is ready to improve upon your condition, and the person has already demonstrated it, let's not forget, John Dumelo has intervened for the constituents and the students as well on several occasions. He has started his one student, one laptop initiative since 2012. He's been providing water. The constituency faces water issues, water shortage issues, most often than not, and he's always in to provide some water for the constituents. And then a lot of stuff, he pays people's school fees and all that. So if someone is able to demonstrate as a parliamentary candidate, that he can do something, then why not try and then give him the opportunity?
Joseph, you see, let me take you to the national level. You see, His Excellency the President-elect John Dramani Mahama, his campaign key promise was the 24-hour economic policy. And so with your NDC parliamentary candidates for Ayawaso West Wuogon, that's John Dumelo, what is his policy or his main policy? You can say this is what when he comes, he's bringing on board.
Okay, so I'll give you three major ones. There are so many of them, I can't mention them.
Sure. So the key ones.
The key ones.
Yeah.
So one is the Bed for All initiative. And as me, I'm so much concentrated on campus because I'm a student.
Sure, absolutely.
But this problem is not only pertaining to students. It's a general problem in the constituency, accommodation issues.
Sure.
So let me take you down to campus. We face so much accommodation issues. Even school fees is not a stress. Because school fees, let me say, the people who pay so much, let me say 5,000, 6,000. But accommodation issues, people pay as high as 25,000, 27,000. That's for accommodation. You understand? All this is due to the lack of accommodation spaces or bed for students. So the few that are there, these stakeholders or these companies take advantage of it to charge students so much that people are not able to pay. And the few that are even willing to pay, it's not all of them that get beds. So you realize that over the years, accommodation has been so much headache to students.
Sure.
And so John Dumelo, one of his policies, the Bed for All policies, is to have a certain, let's say, engagement with the public-private partnerships to establish more hostels on campus, so that students will have peace of mind to lay their head to learn. If you are having worried or issues about where to sleep, you can't even have a peace of mind to study, and that affects your study so much. And the second one I'll talk about is the work and study or school and work policy.
All right, but before you come to that one, you know, if I get you right, or if I understand what you said, you mean that he will engage, other institutions to provide more accommodation facilities on campus.
Yes.
And we all know building takes time.
Yeah.
And this is a case, University of Ghana keeps housing numerous students every academic year.
Yes.
And we are thinking about a plan which, if I guess, it's like 5 years' time, we will see, a fully built hostel on campus.
No, okay. So you are thinking 5 years, but I don't think so. One of the highest building in Dubai, I actually watched a documentary on how it was built. I think it is second to Burj Khalifa. Burj Khalifa is currently the longest in the world.
Sure.
Yes. And this building was built in, I think, was he 15 years or so. And there was a plan for it. They even finished building it before 15 years. So every building or every structure you are putting in place, it is based on the resources you have and based on the efficiency of your workers. How long will it take for contractors if provided with the resources readily and every other capital they need to use? It's not even going to take 2 years to complete accommodation, like let me say hostels for students. It's not going to take even up to 2 years.
All right.
Concerning all other factors are provided or settled, it's not going to take that long. And once they are built, they are going to last forever. Students are going to occupy them, and you understand. So there are projects that is not going to kickstart or going to be beneficial to the people like initially or the start of the administration, but it's going to take a very short time to be completed because it's going to be an engagement. There are a lot of private and public corporations that are willing to invest in the country, but due to economic conditions, they will never do it. No businessman will come and invest in something that in the long term he will lose or he will accrue losses. Sure. They won't do it. So if the conditions are good and they are willing to be settled with their or they are going to be provided with the requisite support, they are going to do it. A lot of investors are going to come to build more hostels on campus.
All right. Also, away from the policies of your NDC parliamentary candidate for the Ayawaso West Wuogon, let's move on to the national level, and particularly your Vice President-elect, Professor Nana Ogyemoko. You know, this is the first time in our history Ghana has appointed a female to lead the charge for the vice presidency. And you know, when you follow Professor Nana Mensah, she has chalked more successes in her life. You know, and she was the first vice chancellor or the first female vice chancellor to lead a public university, and that was the University of Cape Coast. Aside that, she became a Ministry of Education in 2013, and under her regime, we saw some improvements, such as she scrapped, the students who learn under the trees. She built more facilities for students during her reign. And also, she is the current vice chancellor of the women universities in Africa, in Zimbabwe. So right now, I want to look from the angle that how can her influence, be impactful to Mahama's administration? What is she bringing on board? Which, because she has a lot of experience when it comes to the education sector.
Yes.
And so that's why I'm shooting from that angle. But what is that extraordinary thing she brings on board to help, man up John Mahama's administration?
Okay, so thank you very much for the question. So, Her Excellency Professor Nana Ogyemoko, as you said, has achieved a lot of feat in the intellectual world and also in leadership. Understand? So, one thing about the National Democratic Congress, the NDC, is that when we are selecting a candidate for a certain position, especially the national positions, we select candidates that are very competent, that have that kind of legacy. You understand? You don't just choose any candidate at all. Any candidates that will contradict themselves, candidates that come out and speak and people will be like, so this is the person that we want to lead us. Like, no, we choose leaders that have like that kind of charisma, you understand?
Yeah.
And choosing or having a first ever vice president to be a woman is actually a big history to the nation. Sure.
First time
and it's only the NDC that can set that pace. You understand? So, Prof. Jane is coming to not only impact the country in terms of the education sector. When a leader has the leadership skills or leadership quality, he or she is able to cut across all the sectors. You understand? The president per se is not someone who is supposed to have knowledge in economics, in law, and all other like sectors that you can think about. No, he's just like a leader, just someone who is to steer affairs. You understand?
Yeah.
He leads, so he comes together and mobilize the requisite or the appropriate professions or think tankers to minister or to administer the governance or the administration, and that's the same thing works. So it's like very likely that Prof. Jane is going to have a very great legacy in terms of the education, but let's also not forget that she is representing all women and children, especially. Yes, and this is the first time that women can boldly stand up and say we have one of our own in government. Sure. And so they will not be afraid to do certain stuff and certain initiatives, you understand. And so we are going to see an increased growth or improvement in terms of participation of women in development in the country, you understand. That's what we are going to get. And in one of our policies is actually the Women's Development Bank, which was engineered or like championed by Prof. Jane Nana Kukwachman. You understand? So from the onset, she showed us that she is going to bring a lot of changes and a lot of improvement in terms of our women and our children in the society. Let's say these people are described as the less privileged in the society or the vulnerable people in the society because they have less voice and then less opportunities in the society. And this time around, we are going to break that bridge.
All right, interesting. And okay, speaking of the vice president, let's move on to the man himself, His Excellency, the President-elect John Dramani Mahama. And for his policies he has lined up, he says for the first 120 days, he's going to implement no academic fees for the first level hundreds of all public tertiary institutions.
Yes.
Right now, I want you to answer this question for me in terms of, can he do it? That's the general question.
Okay.
Can he do it? And why is he targeting only first year students?
Okay, so the first one, can he do it? It's a big yes. Yes, it is. Should I say it's possible? It is attainable and it's doable, and he's going to do it because John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, is a man of his words. Yes, for someone to be voted against and lose election 2 consecutive times and be brought back by the same people who voted against him means that he's been tried, tested, and trusted. You understand? John Dramani Mahama is someone, he only speaks of things that he can do. When you look at our 2012 manifesto, all the major policies that we outlined in our manifesto was, let's say, more than 80% completed before we left office. Meaning that if we were to win the 2016 election, if we were to be granted that mandate, we would have completed the major projects.
Right, Joseph, I understand that, but you know, this is a time where Ghana, we are in economic crisis.
Yes.
And this is not when he's going to implement it, you know, during his second term, let me say his second year.
Yeah.
This is when he's just sworn in. The first 120 days, we are looking up to this policy.
Yes.
In Ghana, we are currently under economic crisis.
Yeah.
And so this is not just about sharing words that he can do it.
Yeah.
But we are looking at how feasible he can implement it within the first 120 days.
So what I was trying to do is trying to let you understand that the legacy of a leader is very important.
Absolutely.
In his words. When a leader is speaking, you have to, the person, before you even take into consideration or even consider his words, you have to consider the nature or the integrity of the person first. You can't trust a liar or let's say a leader who doesn't tell you the truth to do something. You always have doubts. But this is the person who has done it before. He's going to do it because we are facing economic crisis too. But also within the first 120 days, he's also going to implement a lot. Some other policies. It's not only the no fees.
We'll come to that one because we are students.
Yes.
And we are on the University of Ghana campus. That's why I want to limit it to.
So
education.
I want to make a clarification.
Sure.
The country is not broke, but we are facing economic crisis.
Okay.
They are two different things. We are broke. We are facing economic crisis because our leaders are greedy and selfish. They never put the money into the right places that we are supposed to put the money. They always spend the money amongst their friends and their families.
All right.
You understand? So we are facing economic crisis because they don't care. They don't actually do anything to stabilize the economy.
So you believe Ghana, we still have the resources?
We still have the resources to implement.
All right. Interesting. And so let's move on to the next. Why is he targeting only first-year students? Because we all are witnesses that sometimes, things become difficult along the way, especially for the level 400s and 300s when they are graduating. We have the student loan trust fund, which helps to curb all those, difficulties. But why is he targeting only first-year level 100 students? Because if I'm a ward, when I take the initiative to bring my relatives or my daughters or sons to school, I know I have the resources. So why is he targeting only level 100 students? Isn't that discrimination?
No, that's not discriminatory because myself, I'm a testament to the fact that at least I have the experience that when you are coming into the university for like the first year level 100 is not actually easy. It's very stressful. Provided that you even have the money to pay for the fees and everything. It's even stressful. You will be done making payment for your fees. If you get accommodation, for your accommodation and the rest, you come to the department, you have to make a lot of payments, manual registration, go and print this, go and do that. It's actually very stressful. Sometimes you have to pay and wait for it to reflect in your system before you are able to make certain registrations. And sometimes it doesn't reflect and you have to go back to the bank, or all these things are very stressful to level 100, considering the fact that the person is coming into the school freshly, the person doesn't know his or her way around the school, and all these stress add up. And the school never waits for you to be okay before the academic calendar starts. Once registration deadline is ended, that's all. We are starting studies, we are starting lessons, and you can't do anything about it. You understand? So if the government is able to pay the fees for them before they even come to school, everything is settled. You don't have to come and make any payments. Just come and make your registrations either manually or however they are going to do it. You just do it and you are good to go.
All right. And when you are a first year student, some people are fee paying students. That is where they are going to pay times 2 of the amount regular students are paying. You have city campus students who also, their fees are higher. And, depending on your course is the amount you're going to pay. So, can you clarify that? Is it only regular students is going to handle, or fee-paying students, city campus students, among other satellite campus students are inclusive?
There is no form of discrimination concerning the policy. Everyone is going to be catered for. They say level 100. Once you're level 100, doesn't matter if you are a city campus student, a main campus student, a fee-paying student, or whatever, you are going to be catered for. Your fees are going to be settled before you even, after admission, your fees are going to be catered for before you enter, or before the academic year starts. So your fees are going to be settled if you are a full fee-paying student. There are conditions that make you a fee-paying student, and so your fees are just going to be catered for. It doesn't mean that automatically we will make you a main campus student or something. All right.
So to conclude on this particular policy, let me chip this scenario in. Let's say I have a rich father who can cater for me. So I'm coming to level 100. I don't need any support.
Yes.
So meanwhile, they are student level 4, continuing student. Let me use in that word. They are continuing student who are struggling to cater for their finances, who even, are on the brink to defer their courses.
Yes.
So why don't you, step on the grounds to interact with them, those who don't need any help? And because we have continuing students who also suffer, who also get on the brink to defer their courses just because of finance problem, and you are settling for the debt, or you are, catering for people who don't need those resources. So isn't that a problem solution mismatched?
Okay, so we should never assume that level 100s don't face fees stress, or they don't face difficulties in terms of paying their fees. I can tell you that as overwhelming as 50%, more than 50% of level 100s who enter into university actually struggles a lot to get their school fees. Let's take our economic condition or as a country into consideration. There are a lot of people who come from all over the country to come and school in public universities, and also public institutions, not only university, technical schools, training colleges and all that, and they face academic challenges. And talking about the level continuing students deferring their course due to financial crisis and all that, yes, these problems has always been in existence. And so over the years there's been this student loan trust fund that helps them to cater for the students, in addition to other private scholarship schemes that help students. But we've realized that the student loan trust fund is being crippled. It's no more functioning to its capacity. When you go and apply for the student loan trust fund, they will just toss you up and down, and you will even be discouraged. You will even follow up again, because you will never actually get it. They target certain kind of people and grant them the scholarship. People who don't even need the scholarship, they give it to them to continue their studies and use their money for other stuff. And the people who genuinely need the help, they don't get it. And so the no fee stress policy has an attachment to it that we are going to revive the student loan trust fund. We are going to make it the student loan trust fund plus, which is going to mean that we are going to fund it, or we are going to revive it with so much fund that once a student applies for the loan, there's no need to take the student through so much interviews and all that. Once we've been able to certify on it that the student genuinely needs help, we grant him or her the student loan to continue or to further his studies after the level 100. So there's going to be that scheme too.
All right.
And there's going to be other scholarship schemes that are going to work as well.
Okay, interesting. So moving on, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has also stated that 90 days in office is going to scrap off these main taxes, and I want to run you through the taxes he's going to scrap off. He says he's going to scrap off the e-levy,
yes,
as well as the COVID levy, and most importantly, the 10% levy on bet winnings and emissions levy within the first 90 days, as I stated earlier. How do you see it? Generally, your
this question just yesterday. I was working with a friend. Actually, we went to Medina to do something, and he won 1,200 cedis. He wanted to withdraw all the money, and when he tapped on it, they were deducting close to 200 cedis. Close to 10%, close to 200 cedis.
Yeah,
and he was like, he was just smiling. And I was asking him why. I say he just won a bet. He's withdrawing it, and they are the amount they are.
So to move on with your answer, isn't it something he's telling the people to win them their votes?
It's not something he's telling them. First of all, what is the essence of the betting tax they are taking? What are the skills, or what did they tell us that the betting tax is supposed to do? They said it was supposed to tear people, the youth, from betting. That was their major reason behind implementing the betting tax. But let's ask ourselves, have people stopped betting? It has rather increased the number of people who bet, because no matter what you do, like, let's be real, there are actually no jobs for the youths to do, and this is what people do to survive. Most guys, I can tell you that over 80% of guys, even girls, are now betting. Of the youth bet, they are into this betting. This is what they use to sustain themselves. You understand? And once they struggle to win, and it's not even easy to win a bet. Once they struggle to win, you are going to deduct 10% from them for no reason, giving us the excuse that you are trying to deter them from betting, which in the actual sense or in the normal sense doesn't work out like that. So the betting tax actually is a loot, like it's a sort of distortion from the youth. It doesn't add any value to our growth as a country, because trust me, when they deduct these taxes, it doesn't go into the national purse, it goes into people's pockets, because we've realized that it doesn't have any impact on our economy. They don't add it to the national purse to do any project developmental stuff for us, or to provide even jobs for the youth to do, so that they will totally stop the betting. They don't do any of this. It goes into people's pockets, and you expect them to just stop betting because you are deducting them 10% tax. So His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is coming to reduce this additional burden that the current government have placed on the youth by distorting their money from them. It's coming to collect from them. And one other one is the COVID tax.
Yeah.
Who is suffering from COVID at this current age? If you know of one, you can tell me. I've not heard of any, like for the past, let me say, 2 years, I've not heard of anyone contracting COVID-19. But we are still taking COVID tax. We are taking e-levy. What's the e-levy doing to us? Electronic levy, as they call it. What's it doing? What is it adding to the GDP of this country? What is it doing for us? See, let's be real. If you are deducting tax from the people, it should show within the economy. There should be an improvement. There should be a sort of improvement that is taking place. But these people take all these taxes, emissions tax, like all sorts of taxes. But we don't see these taxes, what they do to improve or what impact they have on our economy positively. Our economy continues to decline. Our currency continues to fall against the foreign currencies. And these people continue to take us taxes that we don't understand what they use them for. So they should be scrapped off. The government said he was scrapping off toll booth system, toll booth tax, and they scrapped it off and they brought emissions tax. It was just a replacement. They didn't cancel anything. It was just a replacement to make the people feel like they are reducing the tax burdens on the people. But in the actual sense, you remove A and you brought B, and A can be equated to B. So what have we cleared? You've not cleared anything. You are lying to the people. They came into government with deceit, and they continue to rely on deceit to save them, and that's what brought the country to where we are now. Everything has been crippled. The economic foundations, the fundamentals of the economy has been broken down. They are not just weak, they have been broken down totally. So I'm telling you, the next government, the next John Dramani's government that's coming, hadn't it be the wisdom that God has given to him to implement, to also profess this 24-hour economic policy, this country would have been in a continuous surge if a different political party had won this actual just past elections. It would have been very difficult for the country to rise up again. All right, we thank you very much for coming, Joseph Baleto, and it has been a very impactful discussion as well as engaging discussion. And so, viewers, this is where we draw the curtains with me, Gabriel Tekomensa. Do stick and stay with NAPA TV. Kindly subscribe and also share to your friends to also, tap in the impactful discussions we've been having. And it's been a pleasure having you here with me, and see you next time. Bye-bye.